Right friends, welcome back to Fidel Castro, the one of the greatest revolutionaries of 20th century, died recently in Cuba and died at the age of 90. And I have given factual information here. Former president of Cuba, Fidel Castro, one of the world's longest serving and revolutionary leader, died at the age of 90, and he was the longest non-royal leader of 20th century. He ruled the country for 49 years, both as a prime minister as well as president. For 49 years, he ruled the country, and he was the longest serving non-royal leader of 20th century. And his younger brother, Raul Castro, is the present president of Cuba, and Castro toppled the American-led Batista government in 1959. And Batista was supported by America, and in the year 1959, in the Cuban Revolution, he dislodged Batista to become the Prime Minister of Cuba, and subsequently he became the President of Cuba, and he ruled the country for 49 years. And he survived several assassination attempts. And throughout the Cold War era, that is from 1950s to 1990s, he was a thorn in the backyard of United States of America. And in 1960s, USSR missiles landed in Cuba, and for most of the Cold War period, USSR supported Fidel Castro. And if you look at Cuba, please look into this map. This country is at the confluence of Caribbean Sea as well as Gulf of Mexico as well as Atlantic Ocean. This country is at the confluence of these three, that is Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, Atlantic Ocean, and at the same time it is just 90 miles or 140 kilometers from the southern coast of Florida in United States of America. The distance between United States of America and Cuba is just 140 kilometers. Still, this country with socialist ideology survived the might of capitalist United States of America. And in the year 1926, he was born in Cuba, and in the year 1953, he was imprisoned after unsuccessful coup against Batista regime, and finally he dislodged Batista, the USA supported government, and subsequently he nationalized American businesses. And he came successful after the CIA sponsored Bay of Pigs invasion. What is meant by CIA? It is the intelligence agency of America, just like ISI for Pakistan. ISI is Inter-Services Intelligence for Pakistan, and in our country, the intelligence wing is Research and Analysis Wing, that is RAW, RAW. And similarly for United States of America, that is CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, that is the intelligence wing of United States of America, and it tried to dislodge Fidel Castro in the year 1961, which is popularly known as Bay of Pigs invasion, but he survived, and he survived more than 600 assassination attempts. And in the year 1962, USSR deployed nuclear missiles in Cuba. USSR came to the rescue of Cuba when sanctions were imposed by United States of America and other Western countries. And in the year 1976, elected as president by Cuba's National Assembly, and in the year 2008, he stepped down as president. And in recent times, during the past 2 years, Barack Obama as well as Raul Castro started normalizing relations. And finally, Fidel Castro died at the age of 90 years. And if you look at the other aspects, he was the longest serving non-royal leader of 20th century. He came to power at the age of 32 years and ruled the country for 49 years. And he survived 638 assassination attempts, and one of the greatest revolutionary leaders of 20th century. And he was a hero to some, and at the same time tyrant to some others who crushed dissent. And as communist or socialist regimes collapsed across the world, he kept the red flag flying right at the backyard of capitalist USA. That is the greatness of Fidel Castro. And positive aspects, I have given negative aspects of the regime of Fidel Castro. Most important positive aspects are universal education. The literacy rates of Cuba are better than some of the states in United States of America, and Cuban doctors are working in several countries in Africa, and not only primary education, the country attained greater heights in higher education also, and life expectancy at 79 years, almost at par with United States of America, and health care almost comparable with the developed countries, and reasonably high human development index and reasonably good per capita income. This is in spite of sanctions imposed by United States of America during the past 50 to 60 years. So massive strides in comparison to capitalist countries and better than capitalist countries have been made as far as education is concerned, as far as health is concerned. And these two are the most important achievements of Fidel Castro. Being a socialist country, having universal education, at the same time world-class health facilities is not an easy task, irrespective of the sanctions imposed by the Western countries, right? And the negative aspects, violation of human rights, then torture, arbitrary imprisonment and extrajudicial executions, and repression of all forms of political dissent. So these are the negative aspects of Fidel Castro regime. And finally, for majority of Cubans, Fidel Castro is Cuba and Cuba is Fidel Castro. And for some of them, he is one of the greatest dictators of 20th century. And the world is also divided on similar lines, with some leaders, especially African leaders, hailed him as the greatest revolutionary, and some other leaders like the president-elect Donald Trump, who said that he was the greatest dictator of 20th century. So the opinion is divided world over as far as Fidel Castro is concerned, but overall he was one of the greatest revolutionaries of 20th century, who defied the capitalistic might of United States of America, and at the same time who survived in the backyard of United States of America. Right? So an end of revolutionary, and it assumed significance as socialist countries, one after the other, are crumbling during the past 25 years. Right, friends? With this, let us conclude all the capsules for 47th week. Please do join for new city glance and questions and answers. Have a nice day. Thank you.